There's no doubt that 2020 is a different year, and I'm not going to spend time explaining how or to make predictions, but I would say is that adaptation is required at all levels, including education. With that in mind, this and other upcoming videos are meant to act as resources that teachers and lecturers and everyone really could utilize to get a grasp of some of the basics of online learning. I intend to make videos across different platforms being used by people and institutions, and in this first video, meant for teachers, I would feature Google Classroom. So let's dive straight in. Google Classroom is a free web service developed by Google that aims to simplify creating, distributing, and grading assignments. This definition is something that comes straight from the internet, but what does it really mean? Think of it as a hub where you, the teacher, could organize your class for the distribution of materials, information exchange, and grading. You want to give announcements? You could do that in Google Classroom. You want to mark and give feedback on assignments in a streamlined manner? You could do that in Google Classroom. If you want to systematically manage each and every term so that people get an idea of what their grades are at the end of a semester, they could do that in Google Classroom. So great! It is the solution to everything. Let's go on and back. Hold on, Susan. Before we jump straight in, let me tell you what Google Classroom is not. Google Classroom is not Zoom, which is to say that it is not a video conferencing platform that would enable face-to-face conversations and lectures between teacher and the students. Google has another service which ties into Google Classroom called Google Meet, and that allows for video conferencing. But Google Meet is not required to use Google Classroom. Google Classroom is also not a complete solution. It's not a solution that would enable you to just digitally do everything else you would have exactly done in an in-person setting. Regardless of how the class was before, you as the teacher will have to rethink how you structure and manage your class in this digital landscape. You see, technology is imperfect, but it could make some things better, and some other things might require additional creativity. The best way to reimagine is to understand the platform though, and I hope that this video is the start of making that necessary foundation. So let's jump straight in. In your browser, log on to classroom.google.com. If you don't already have a Google account, or if you aren't signed in, you'll get the opportunity to do so now. It's free. As soon as you're logged in, you'll be taken directly to the home page. This is where you'll get an overview of all the classes and classrooms that you have created. To be clear, a teacher could have and manage multiple classes and classrooms. On the upper left window, you'll see a hamburger button, which shows that this is the main menu. If we click on that, you'll see something comes out that shows links which will let you access different classes, the calendar of your classes, archive classes, as well as settings. This video would not explore this section because to get the best appreciation of its contents, you need to have a classroom already set up. So I'm going to click on classes, which would take me to the home page, and we're going to follow along to the upper right, where you would see a cross or a plus icon, an icon with 6 dots, and an area where you have a photo. Very quickly, if you click on the icon with 6 dots, shortcuts will drop down, and this will allow you to see other Google apps and services such as Docs, Gmail, News, Meet, etc. To access them, you just click it. If you click on the picture, assuming you have one, it allows you to see and access your Google account. You may upload a profile photo should you decide to do so by clicking the camera button right here. Now, I already have my smug self there, so let's create a class. To do that, you click on the plus icon at the top right and you click on Create Class, which brings up a thing. Here what's happening. I am morally compelled to inform you that you, as a teacher, should not be using Google Classroom to manage all of the classrooms in your school. Google already has a solution for that called G Suite for Education. You can check out the link in the description below should you want more details. If your school so desires to use G Suite for Education, worry not, it's free. It is a process, but it's free. If you're from Trinidad and Tobago, you can log on to www.edu.tt to see more details about the process. The www is required. Great, so we strayed far away enough. Let's go back to Google Classroom. To make the classroom, you should read the notice, click the checkbox anyway, and then click Continue. Here appears a new window with some fields that you may want to fill out. The only one that's absolutely required is the first one, being the class name. Now here's where I want to give you some tips. If you are, say, a primary school teacher who is exclusively devoted to one class and you're teaching multiple or just one subject, you could name this class after yourself, and under section or room put the standard or grade. Or you could just put it all in the class name, no fuss. But if there's already a format established by your educational institution, be consistent, just use it. If you are, however, one of those teachers who teach one or multiple subjects with multiple classes, do not make one class. You shouldn't, ever, because it will be a nightmare to manage and you really don't want to go through that headache. Make separate classes, just as you would in organizing an in-person class, and customize each of them to suit. For simplicity's sake, I'll just name this class after myself, and under room, call it 1R, which evidently is the Form 1 class that I went into in St. Benedict's College. When you fill what you see fit, click Create. This is where Google's assistants and operators are working tirelessly to... I'm kidding, it just takes a couple seconds. It'll take you straight to what you're viewing now, which is, if we're getting ahead of ourselves, the Stream tab of the classroom you made. And that's it, you made a classroom. Congratulations. Now, you'll see that there's all sorts of pretty buttons and new things to go through, and we'll go through them, just not in this video right now. It's long enough, and in closing, I just want to re-emphasize what we did. We simply created a classroom. However, we also went through what Google Classroom is and isn't, and how G Suite for Education is to be considered on an institutional level. In the next video for teachers, I'm going to go through the first two tabs of Classroom, being Stream and Classwork. If time permits, I'll answer or respond to any questions or issues that you may have expressed and experienced, and try to offer some solutions. How did I do? If you like this video, please drop a like and share with anyone you believe could be helped by this. Subscribe to the channel so that you'll be the first to know when the next video drops. And as always, if you have any questions, comments or concerns, let me know in the comment section below. Follow me on social media at Alphonsus Ragbear, and thanks for watching. Stay safe.